Okay, admit it. This is what you were waiting for. The episodes I didn't like or had more problems with than the others. As with the last list, this is all subjective. My opinion does not reflect everybody else's, and I won't look down on anyone if they disagree. Quick, I guess, dishonorable mentions go out to Pony Point of View, which had a great lesson about communication, but sort of hurts other episodes in the process, and Viva Las Pegasus, which, while decent, loses points for really not being that funny. And now, on to the top 10 worst episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 6. Number 10. So, at number 10 is the map episode I like the least this season, and that goes to Spice Up Your Life. I actually feel bad because I do like the episode. In fact, I'm glad this episode exists, because now I can recommend this over the terrible comic that talked about criticism. Pinkie Pie once again was the best character. Zesty Gourmand is the perfect strawman character to follow the moral of not shoving opinions down everyone's throat. We got great pony diversity with Coriander and Saffron, and It's Gonna Work is the catchiest song of the season. There are two things holding this episode back. First off, they got the map back up and running way too easily. The other is Rarity's an idiot for the second act. Again, good episode, just those two problems hold it back from being great. Number 9. Okay, now for something most people would put much, much lower on their lists. Yep, I'm talking about Newbie Dash. Oh boy, this can of worms no one wants to talk about. Okay, let's talk about it. I thought the episode was fine. Rainbow Dash's descent was natural because she was doing it to herself instead of someone else making her look bad. The lesson was always about putting your pride and ego aside for the betterment of the team, and sure, it did get cringy in the second act. Again, blame Rarity. But the message was clear, and I did enjoy myself. And I'm not even from a military background. More importantly, I came away with a positive emotion from watching the episode. Unlike number 8. An episode that gave me no satisfactory conclusion. Again, my list, my opinion, but I wasn't a fan of To Wear Him Back Again as much as everyone else. Hell, I say I like this even less than the cutie remark. You know what? Screw it. I say it's worse than the best night ever. My least favorite finale up until today. At least with the two prior finales, I can say they gave me something to look forward to in the following seasons, or left with some sort of reflective conclusion. After everything is said and done and Chrysalis is defeated by the power of love, again, I'm left with nothing. I mean, I guess I like Starlight a little more now that her arc is complete, and I also like the banter between Discord and Trixie, something I never thought I'd say. But unless Guardians of Harmony is still a thing, I have nothing to look forward to in Season 7. Number 7. Want to know what my record for fastest time to hate a character is? 0 seconds! It took 0 seconds for me to hate Zephyr Breeze in Flutterbrudder. I wanted this episode to hit me in the gut emotionally. This was going to be the episode that showed me the error of my ways and not be afraid of failure. It had the setup and had Fluttershy showing character growth. The problem is Zephyr Breeze is unsympathetic. When I should feel pity for him, I feel disdain. When he fails horribly with Rainbow Dash, I'm ecstatic that he's given what for from the new Wonderbolt. People see him as realistic, I see him as lazy, unreliable, and obnoxious. If I looked at his performance as a manager, he's unhireable! The biggest sin, however, the story tells us he's brilliant, but it doesn't show us he's brilliant. What should have been this season's Amending Fences turned out disappointing. Number 6. And now to piss even more people off. An episode I thought was going to be in the bottom 5 for sure until another episode came along. Applejack's Day Off just missed the bottom 5. One of the big reasons it's not in the bottom 5 is the lesson it teaches. Don't overcomplicate things more than they need to be. A very valuable lesson. That being said, sweet Celestia, the pacing is awful! I think the episode should have taken its lesson to heart and cut out the filler. All I was thinking about during the pipe following was...
padding, 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 padding.
The episode was boring and tedious, but at least it didn't piss me off. Number 5. Then again, I can't really say the same for the next episode on the list. Every Little Thing She Does. The best way to describe the episode is, imagine if in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, instead of Mickey using magic to bring the brooms to life, he instead possesses the other magic students to do the work for him, stripping them of their free will. And we're still supposed to see him as a good guy. Now you see my dilemma with Starlight. We're supposed to feel sorry for her and sympathize with her, but her old habits have not died. Stripping the remaining 5 of their free will is not funny, it's scary. Now you can see why Starlight was such a roller coaster of a character in Season 6. Number 4. You know, I was struggling to figure out what to say about this number, and I got nothing. There is nothing worth saying about The Cart Before the Ponies. It's boring, it does nothing new with an already tired premise, and the only enjoyment I got out of it was the Speed Racer reference. Actually, scratch that. The only other enjoyment I got was making lists of what I'd rather be doing than watch the episode. That is how uninteresting The Cart Before the Ponies is. Number 3. You know how not to make someone care for a character? Make everyone else around them even more unlikable just to say they're not as bad by comparison. I'm sticking by my opinion here. I still really hate No Second Prances. Twilight goes back on her word about not dwelling on the past, Trixie felt like she hadn't developed since her redemption in Magic Duel, and Starlight, the only likable character in the episode, is a plot device in her own story. While I don't think it's as bad as the bottom 2 episodes, as it did make me laugh more, I just wish it didn't spit on my then favorite episode of the show. Number 2. Another thing I could say that puts No Second Prances above my number 2 pick, I understood what was going on in the episode. What the hell was the plot of On Your Marks? Holy hell, I didn't think there could be a worse Cutie Mark Crusader-centered episode than One Bad Apple. The episode feels like there's too many plot lines going on throughout the episode. At first, it tries to be a Cutie Mark Crusader episode addressing what's next now that they have their cutie marks. Then it drops that plot line to focus on Apple Bloom sulking about not doing things together. And then it shoehorns in a third story with a tap dancing pony with stage fright. Not only that, but it was boring to watch. If the episode just picked one thing to focus on, I might not have been so hard on it.
Number 1.
I don't think it's a surprise to anyone watching, but my least favorite episode of Season 6 is 28 Pranks Later. What more do I say about this episode? Everyone acts like they're Season 2 selves, with the exception of Pinkie Pie. The only reason everything happened the way it did was so much continuity had to be ignored, and I hate the implications the moral brings. If they dropped the bit about what ponies found funny and made it solely about Rainbow Dash being an annoyance, it would have been 50 times better. Hell, we would have had a much better moral because of it. Treat others the way you want to be treated, something the show has yet to tackle. Instead, fuck this episode. 28 Pranks Later is the worst episode of Season 6. Disagree? Put your least favorites in the comments below. Until then, I'm the Voice of Reason, and I'll see you next time.